What instantly comes to mind when you hear India? Holy prejudice in the comments. Like, dog, if you're gonna go to Bihar, no shit, you're going to experience horrible sanitary standards. That's like going to the shittiest place in Detroit and saying America is too dirty. Go to Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, literally any metro city, and you'll have a good time. India is a developing nation with rich parts and poor parts. If you can only afford the poor parts as a traveler, that's on you, not India. Ancestors pillaging everyone else's lands and trying to stamp their fickle moral high ground by bringing up negative things that for the most part is the fault of the very countries they come from. LOL. I'm probably biased, but through all these years, I have never had respectful Indian neighbors. They were always nosy by putting loud music, left trash outside on the nature strip, parked their car on my nature strip. As a business owner, they are the only ones who try to barter all the time ticketed prices. Skshawls and horns, a lot of horns. Cows and elephants, an explosion of flavors. Hinduism and Buddhism. Poverty, but also mutual aid. Crowds and people everywhere, but also the Himalayas and the stillness. Street shitting, traditionalist to the point of insanity. Unsanitary food practices. Sexually repressive. Filthy rivers. Corruption so bad they don't even try to hide it. Mass rape, crumbling poverty-ridden infrastructure. Basically, an entire country riddled with backwards insults. Sorries, heaps of historical monuments, the Ganges, Hinduism, Islam and Christianity, Sikhism. Hindu gods like Krishna, and one of my students told me I must visit Kerala, the best part of India. An Indian woman dressed in a traditional sari, nose ring jewel and transporting a stack of goods on her head. Also a female cop in the Indian metro. They looked very cool. Images from my travels to India a few years ago. Smelled just pungent odors in general. They can be good or bad, but it's always strong. I walked by this Indian dude once who generally reeked like a sewer. But I've also smelled amazing Indian street food from a food truck. Overly conservative state, sexually repressed men, oppressive caste system, lack of food safety, scam artists, conversely, vibrant colors, delicious food, and it can't be as bad as the negative news we see come out of there. I recently visited India after 10 years and I couldn't believe how much it has developed in the last 10 years. India has poverty, but not all Indians are poor. Most of the population is middle class. A friend lived in India and traveled the world extensively. He once told me that in India, you experience smells that you never experience anywhere else in the world. That stuck with me. A nation boasting of its grandeur as one of the oldest civilizations, yet plagued by a lack of basic humanity and civility, and haunted by insane delusions of its past and present. That one episode from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure when they visited India. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Isn't India a great place? Pushing because they are so tightly packed in their cities. They think when they're in cities outside of India, that pushing it also normal. Stop with the bloody pushing. Negative discrimination towards women and life train passengers and vehicle drivers. On the positive side, food, elephants, mysticism, wisdom, humor, integrity, tigers, overcrowded, poor treatment of women. I used to really want to go, as I think there would be wonderful parts to travel. However, the first couple of reasons deters me. Old people scammed. I live in a road with loads of old people. I had to remove remote software a few times off their computers after being robbed by the call centers. Either the cricket team or the song Mundian to Botke, otherwise known as the loud Indian music. Not trying to be racist, but the song slaps anyway, so how can you be? Indians, as in my imagination, gives me this generic-looking Indian face. Then the bad stuff. But then I try to remember that I've also heard about good stuff. Honestly, I think of pollution, poor sanitation hygiene, corruption, lack of women's rights safety, infanticide gender selection, sexual violence, poverty. When I hear India, I think of vibrant colors, diverse cultures, delicious cuisine, bustling streets, and a rich history spanning thousands of years. The Reddit post I read earlier about a woman who said she named her daughter Indy and ended up throwing her family out for not liking her name. It's crazy how it's gone from visiting India meaning enlightening and Buddhism to all the things that I'm seeing now as the top comments. Food, specifically the matter mushrooms I used to hoover down on the regular at this cheap Indian restaurant when I lived interstate. Mind-bogglingly diverse ... People, cultures, states, languages, geographies, festivals, religions, etc. And all this in one country. A very specific bit by a Flemish comedian. Out of context it comes across as racist, so I'm not saying it. It does involve a train. Kushi Kumari Gupta and Arnav Singh Rezata. My late wife was the biggest fan of Indian telenovelas, and I got hooked on them too. Street food. If Gordon Ramsay was in India making an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, most street food vendors would be crucified. It's weird how government doesn't give a flying fuck about people and life there is also equally shit. Yet Indians defend it. Awesome, and not in the slang sense of the word, but in the actual sense of the word that which inspires awe and wonder. Scam and broken English. Sorry that my impressions are not really positive, but it's just based on my experiences. So, you just brought out served some food to someone ... You say, you been to India? Well, get that India. Hot temperatures and overcrowding. Same thing that comes to my mind when I think Disney World. It so happens. The comments here are really depressing. I went to Goa about 10 years ago. It was magic. I live in the UK. Hello. My name is Johnny. I'm calling from the Windows office. There is a problem with your computer. Horribly overcrowded everything ... and soul-crushing heat. That being said, the people seem pretty cool. The absolute most beautiful, colorful, amazing weddings and parties I have ever seen. Just amazing. The psychedelic Furs song, India. And I'll allow that is honestly the first thing. Terminally Gen X. Ganja. Bang. And the Ugris, or historical Orientalism in the Western esoteric tradition LOL. To many people too much continuous noise. I wouldn't be able to survive there. Sensory overload. What I learned in this thread: Indians might be the most hated group of people in the world LOL. Random videos of Indian guys cooking food in hots and that I keep seeing on Facebook at 3 AM. Pakora, absolutely love it, can't get enough of the stuff whenever I have an Indian curry. Punjabi NC Jogi, Vidit, Gukesh and Pragnananda Chess Candidates Tournament 2024. Less than healthy to eat rice and the overly spicy curry required to block out the taste. Currently in a bus at 7 AM listening to some Indian dude blasting Indian songs ... so that my socially awkward, freshly arrived college buddy had a lot of social rules to learn. Food poisoning, poor hygiene, poverty, overpopulation, gang rape, shitting on the street. That song, Mundian Tabok K googled India song and was the first one to pop up. 1.5 speed in romantic movies. The director's imagination in the film is rated 10 stars. Street food vendors using the same hand they used to scratch their ass for making food. Most successful and highest earning immigrant community in USA. Most IT grads, humble. Like 3 of my best friends are all half India, so I pretty much have to think of them. My first thought is always the extremely hot weather, although I haven't been there. Those really bad low-budget Bollywood movies you see clipped on social media. Cheap labor, tech support, the second largest English-speaking population in the world. Spices, Bollywood, gold jewelry, Ambani, Adani, Modi. Tech industry, Section 377. Indian metal band, Bloodywood, specifically. My two favorites maki prasad and arch. Pungent spices. Vivid colors. Then it drops off a cliff due to news stories. Near bottom of nations I'd like to visit due to its terrible sanitary standards. Tunic Tun by Dala Mendi. Mundi and Tabak starts playing in background and everyone starts dancing. Pakistan. Because I almost never hear the two mentioned apart for some reason. Honestly Hanor Sandhu. She the most beautiful Miss Universe. Muhad for me. Pollution, overpopulation, poverty, caste system, funeral pyres, cheap labour, this Mickey Flanagan bit, dirty rivers, open defecation, minority group pogroms, Taj Mahal, scammers, the Taj Mahal, caste system, colourful saris and grand, days-long weddings. Just going to blurt out what my mind instantly thought. Indian people. The smell of curry. I live in a very densely populated Punjabi population. Unhygienic food. You TikTok for ruining their image. The sections of the film A Little Princess when she talks about India. Wanna go back? Edit the comments in this thread are super messed up. Pollution and scammers. I wish I thought of biryani first. But I don't. Fluffy goes to India. One of my guy friends, his name is Hashim and he's incredibly racist. Honestly, I just really loved their accent. And I think of Baba Senwai. The same thing that comes to mind when I hate any country, the food. Just the place. Nothing specific about it. Just yes, India. India. Incredible India. Don't even remember where the jingle is from.